Okay, good evening to everyone. Welcome to my live. I am KL the shaman, and yes, I am a shaman. Uh, Hello. So let me start out with a few housekeeping points, pieces. Uh, Today we're doing Ask a Shaman, and we're going with the life coaching version. So we're not doing any of the normal reads today, and this is kind of how I run my lives. So every day I do something slightly different. So Sunday Mondays are just general reads. Tuesdays, which is today, is all about life coaching questions, which is something that I do in my practice. So if you have a situation that you've been kind of going through, but it's been pretty difficult, and you're kind of looking for a second opinion, fresh eyes, that's what we're doing today. All right. So feel free to get into the questions. I try to go in order. So there is a special rule that I'm going in with from here on in, for all my lives. It's called the 11-11 rule. Pretty simple. It's usually one card, one person, one question, asked once. Okay. Uh, hey Mo, how you doing? Glad to see you back today. Yeah, let's jump right into it. Anila says I'm stuck in my life. So let's try to expand that a little bit. And Layla said, how can I stop thinking about him? A.A is saying we broke up the 31st. Don't know if I should again apologize or just wait. I'm doing really good, Logan Horseman. I only speak one language. Great Magic Dan. Well, two if you count Universal. Is my ex gonna come back? Rena, AJ left me. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. All right, so we have definitely have a few questions popping in. You know, so definitely no reason should I wait for him. All right, so just remember. Hey, Jeannie, how you going? Sorry, am I gonna get there? Uh, it might be. It might be Jeannie. Hey, speaking of which, Jeannie, do you wanna? Would you like to join in and try some modding? Entirely up to you. No, you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you feel like modding tonight, I've added you if you want to mod. Okay. All right, so let's jump back. So I'm gonna go back from the top. Right. So keep asking your questions. Just remember, one question, one person, asked once. Right. I'm gonna go through the list, and I'm gonna try to expand on things here as we go. Okay. All right. So the first one that I had, that would be. Where did it go? Oh, Anila Butt says I'm stuck in my life. So Anila, if you could just kind of rephrase that to be just a little bit more specific, and then I'll be able to kind of help you unpack at least a starting point, so you'll have some tooling to get unstuck. And Layla had asked, how can I stop thinking about him? That's a pretty tricky one, Layla, because see, one of the most important aspects to understand is what are the facts outside of emotion, that would be the first place to start. Because if you like keep the emotion there, it's gonna be like damn near impossible to stop thinking about him. You have to figure out, okay, there is obviously a break in the connection. So you have to figure out when was the first indication that you recognized that there's a break in that connection. Because from that moment forward, like you really got to think about it. From that moment forward, there's factual information by a pattern. So every time you did something, he may have felt a bit off. Every time he did something, you may have felt off. And that's where you can kind of begin to figure out, oh, that's the pattern that helped to cause the break. So if it became super egregious, where like right now you can't stop thinking about him, then that's a way for you to begin to unpack, okay, is this what I really want in my life? And then you can kind of take further steps from there. So that's the starting point, Layla. Okay. A.A, we broke up on the 31st. I don't know if I should apologize again. So if it's okay with you, A.A, let's unpack that. What was it that you had to apologize for? Because that's where we would take the first step to understand if he is going to accept the kind of apology that you're making. Logan Horse, I'm doing pretty good today, man. I'm doing super awesome today. All right. And Rena said that AJ left. Well, AJ left her. Yeah, so we'll have to kind of unpack like what happened for you, Rena. Like what were the circumstances of why he left you, and you know, on my live, you gotta feel free to be honest because that's the only way we're gonna get to the truth, right? Even if it feels embarrassing to say, oh, yeah, I kind of messed up, I did this. It's okay because I can help you kind of walk through how you don't make those same mistakes again. Okay. Richard will. All right. So, Slider, we're not doing the reads tonight, but we are doing life coaching style from a spiritual perspective. Yes. Hi, Zoe. How are you this evening? Anila, but I'm divorced. It's been 8 years. Right. So that's a little bit deeper, Anila. And, especially with divorce, if it broke off really bad, then it would come back to a slightly different context. The context being, what are the things that you're missing from when you were together, up to 8 years ago? Because if you can identify the things that you're missing, then we can sort of reverse engineer what things we want to, kind of help you build on your own. Right, Karen. So we're just doing life coaching stuff tonight. Basically, ask a shaman for life coaching on a spiritual version questions tonight. Right. Dad joined. Hey, Dad, how's it going? Okay. Yeah, I'm doing great, Mo. Doing really great. Yeah, so we're doing any other type of tarot read. We're gonna do that a different night, and usually a specific topic. Generalized stuff is just gonna happen like on Sundays and Mondays later. Okay, Jeannie, sounds good. No worries at all. No worries at all. Hope you had an awesome day, by the way. Whatever I do, it's go wrong, is what Anila is saying. Right, so it may feel that way, Anila. And usually when that's happening, it's because from a spiritual perspective, in my field, if everything you do is going wrong, it just means that you are not on the right path going towards where you're supposed to be. Because usually the correct path, and when you're in flow, and there's a lot of psychologists that actually talk about this. When you're in flow, things generally go right. You may get some challenges still, but things generally go right. So we have to kind of figure out what goes wrong. So tell you what, Anila, here's how I would approach this. If you can identify for me, just kind of go back in your memory and identify for me, when did you first start noticing things going wrong? Let's start there. Hey Rose, how's it going? We're just doing the life coaching version tonight, Rose. Yeah, we're not doing the tarot reads tonight. And just small reminder for everyone, new rule going forward. All right, it's basically the double 11 rule. Okay, the double 11 rule. One card, one question, one person typed once. So because we're not doing cards, we're just doing the 111 rule tonight. So one question, one person, type once. Okay. Okay. Adele. Okay. How am I going to get married with my? Okay. Yeah. So remember, if you're having an issue, we want to unpack it, right? We're not going to use the cards tonight. We just want to unpack this and actually try to figure out how to do this with a more strategic method. Okay. Yeah. I know it's a little bit different format for most people when they jump on my live, because the majority of TikTok readers, they do that other thing, which is okay. I just have a different format. That's all. Psychic Tarot Capel. Hello. How are you? How you doing? Chloe. How's it going? Good to see you here. Psychic healer, yes, and shamanic healer, if you want to put it that way too. Yeah, yes, I am. I have A.A. I have anxiety, and I kind of humiliate myself by saying I loved him after 3 months. Oh, he said nothing. Okay, so A.A. He just wasn't ready for it, and it's kind of weird sometimes because you feel the connection, and I would dare to say that he absolutely felt the connection, but he he wasn't prepared for the fact that he was actually feeling that connection. So I would say in that kind of situation, it's not really anybody's fault, except one person was ready, one person was not. And yeah, it really sucks. But I'm guessing that you, A.A, like you kind of go with the feeling in the moment. Oh, look, this is happening. Not everybody's like that, so it's a bit hard to kind of understand that. So for you, you would have to learn to have a little more patience, in allowing someone else to be at the same vibe that you are. Ooh, we have a lot of questions tonight. I love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, Rena, okay, so Aegis told me he was not ready for a relationship after 5 months seeing each other. He told me he loved me. Yeah, Rena, I feel for you with that situation. Um, it seems to be there are a lot of guys who go through that, where they feel that connection, but they haven't really had um, an example in their life of how to take that and how to move forward with that. It happens for both girls and guys, like straight up, it happens for both. So don't I don't I don't want you to feel bad about that. What I want you to kind of look at it as is, okay, if he told you, and especially, and this is for the entire room, you're a woman, you're looking for a relationship. The majority of guys always say exactly what they mean to say. Like, I know it might sound weird, because the difference is, for women kind of go around the story, right? And they look for someone to figure out what's being said, right? And that's usually where a lot of communication breaks down. It doesn't mean that one is wrong, it's that's not what it is. It's just a matter of understanding the parameters of communication that you're working with. So I could guarantee you, when he told you, look, he loves you, it's the truth. But him loving you is a separate issue from him having a relationship with you. I know that is absolutely mind blowing for a lot of women, but that's the honest to goodness truth. That is exactly how a man processes things, right? So you might wonder, okay, how do I get him to have a relationship with me? Pretty simple. One, you could just ask him. You could ask him, what is it he's looking for in a relationship. Chances are he may hint it to you as opposed to tell it to you, because most guys don't really want to tell a woman what they're looking for in a relationship, in the protective mode of, well, maybe you'll start pretending and then he won't be able to know if you're being for real or if you're pretending, right? So you understand, like, it's a bit of a kamikaze move. What I would say is just kind of pull back a little bit and give him the room to actually see you. You know, you can do something along the lines of, hey, look, I understand you don't really want a relationship right now, but you said you love me. you know so present to him the option that, we don't have to have a relationship right now. Let's just get to know each other. You understand what I mean? If that's what I mean when I say pull back a little bit. You give a little bit of room, because he already knows that he told you, shit, I love you. Damn it. It came out. Oh my God. So he's got his own panic going on, right? What you can do is just to assuage the panic by showing him that this is the person that I am, and just like, actually have fun getting to know each other. It changes the whole mindset, I tell you that. Okay, Rena, hope I got your name pronounced correct. Jessica, am I doing something that's keeping him from reaching out? Right. So we're just doing the life coaching version. So we could unpack that a little more if you phrase the question a little bit differently, Jessica. Sweet and sassy. Hey, are you doing paid readings, PayPal? Sweet and sassy, you can actually book a reading with me. So all you would need to do is to go to my profile, and you'll see a link tree link at the bottom of my profile. And there's two ways to do a read with me. One is indirect through the Wizio link. And then the second way to do a full read is through the Calendarly link, where you just book you book from my calendar. There we go. Rose Sharma, hello, how are you? Btox, hello. Steph's Gamers in the building. Love it, love it. H is here. Thanks for sharing my live. Much appreciated. Vanessa, right? Yeah, okay. So I'm kind of just going past all of the tower reads because we're doing something a little bit different tonight. Btox, thanks for your question. We're gonna be doing the tarot reads a different night. Spicy, yeah. Akija, you asked like how do I fix my financial situation? Should I move back home? That's one of the things you could do. I suspect by the way that you phrased your question, Akija, that it's you really don't want to have to do that. So why don't we talk about, like, for you, Akija? I mean, if you feel comfortable doing it here, right? What are the other things that you are considering outside from moving back home? What are the other things you're considering right now that you would be willing to do to help with fixing your financial situation? And maybe we could unpack that and kind of figure out at least a starting point. Good morning, Alicia P. How are you this morning? Great to see you. So remember, Sarush, one question, one person, type once. Poppy, good morning. Hello from France, Caroline. Pleasure to have you with us. I wish that I could speak French as fluidly as I would love to. I'm not there yet. I could probably say bonjour. I hope that's the right pronunciation. Tornado blessings. Good evening to you too. Zena Day, good morning. Vanessa asked, do I see my mother-in-law getting power of attorney? So I'm not doing the tarot reads tonight, Vanessa, but it depends on the kind of circumstances and depends on what you want out of the situation. Will make fuel for me what I feel. Kim, I'm trying to understand the question a little bit here. Will make fuel for me. Oh, will make feel for me what I feel for him. Right. So let's unpack that a little bit more, Kim. You know, tell me what you feel for him, and also tell me what he has shown you so far that makes you think that he doesn't feel the same. Like, give me a situation, and then we'll unpack that, so at least you have a good starting point on what to do next. Got it. Jake Feel, got it now. Okay. Bizotix, says, should I keep on going with France in the future when it comes to relationship? That depends, because obviously you're feeling that there's some sort of juncture that's happening. Why don't you tell me about that, Bisotics, and then we can kind of get into it. I'm going down the list as fast as I can here. Anyway, since I know life is always hard for me in every aspect, love or career. That's what Anila is saying. Right. Now, here's the thing though, Anila. The experience you're having right now is just one experience. And I know sometimes when you get caught in a loop, it's a bit hard to get out of it or to see any way out. I can tell you for a fact there is a way out. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you can talk about the very first instance when you recognize this, let's talk about that. Then I'll be able to give you some actual 2 points of how you can start resetting that mindset. Ginger's asking. Okay, Rose. You wear Corey, Caroline? Oh, I was correct. Oh, yes. Right on, right on. Took me a second to get that one there, Caroline. Thank you. So Vanessa, like wanting to stop her from getting power attorney, it might require a bit of magic. So what I would suggest, if that's what you really, really want, come back on Saturday evening. I usually I'm on the same time every night. So but Saturday is when we do shamanic magic Saturday. So any requests that you want to have as a change in your life, that's when we could approach that particular request. Right. 7, that's an interesting screen name. I feel that everyone drains me. How should I go about working on that if it's possible? That is a great question. So here's what I understand from that question, 7. It means that you have a high degree of sensitivity to energy, and you feel like your vital energy just keeps going out and not returning. That also tells me that your awareness is also a bit low to know when you're entering that kind of situation. So, what I would recommend first and foremost is get you some obsidian and also some lava beads. Wear obsidian on your left wrist and wear the lava beads on your right. Sometimes you need a bit of assistance when it comes to situations like this, right? And when you do that assistance, it helps you to be a little bit clearer to sense the awareness of this is not a place I should be. I feel my energy kind of getting tugged at, right? Now, the second part of that 7 is you have to begin to train yourself to keep your energy. All right? A lot of people get really, really misinformed about what it means to be an empath. One thing is it has nothing to do with you giving away your energy. Right? It is about feeling what's around you and being able to clearly identify and articulate what's around you. Right? That way it really changes how you respond to when you start feeling energy pulling from you. So that would be the place that you would start, 7. right. We're going through. Halifa, good morning. So just a small reminder for everyone, I am only doing like the spiritual life coaching questions this evening. So if you have a situation that you've been trying to work out and it's not working out, let's unpack it together because, I'm sure that I'll be able to give you some tools as to how to do that. All right, still going through. Am I pushing my husband to a divorce, or is this really what he wants? Hey, Jerry, thanks for your question. Um, Jerry, let me ask you this, right? And of course, we like honesty in this room. Um, what do you feel you are doing to push him towards a divorce? Like, let's really unpack that, right? Because maybe I can help you to like understand a bit of his perspective based on what you are seeing at this point in time. Uh, Rial de Bloom, good morning. I hope I pronounced your screen name right. Good morning from Joseph Akufo from Ghana. Hello, Ghana. Fran, hello. How you doing? Megan, thanks for the roses. Psychic Love, thank you so much. Much appreciated. Right back at you. Okay. Jordan, I want to manifest my ex charisma back into my life. And I did the manifestation ritual with you. Good, Jordan. Now, Jordan, that is amazing. Here's why I think that's really amazing. If I understood what you said there, Jordan, properly, you want to manifest your ex charisma, right? Which is you recognizing the thing that you enjoyed the most from your ex. Unless you're talking about your ex whose name is charisma. Right? So there's a slight difference there. Either way, I think it's a fitting statement if I'm kind of working with a pun version of it. Now, if your ex's name is charisma and you want her back in your life, give the ritual time to work. Remember how I said 3, 6, and 9. You got to watch for those signs. Okay? Right, so you're actually talking about your ex whose name is Charisma, but I still feel like she hates me. How do I maintain belief for? Um, if she hates you right now, Jordan, hate is one of those things that it has to take time to dissolve. Let the ritual actually work. You just have to basically go about everything else and let it work. Especially if she's like on the complete opposite end, that ritual has to dissolve that hate for her to be able to see you. Now, she hates you, so she is fully aware of you because whatever happened between the two of you, it really that really messed with her. You gotta give that time, all right? 3, 6, and 9. Remember that. It could be 3 hours, 3 weeks, 3 days, 3 months, 3 years. Give it time. Grace. Well, all right, so we'll keep going. Hello from Norway. Right on. Marianne from Norway. I used to collaborate music production with a guy from Norway a few years ago. That was pretty cool. Thanks for the follow, Natty. And yeah, for everyone, feel free to like follow. Feel free to like this live. Feel free to share this live with your friends. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much for the gifts. Rialdo Bloom asks, should I give up on Nduduzu? Nduduzu. Let's unpack that situation though, right? You got to tell me about the situation so that I can actually give you the tools. I'm more than willing to give you some tools so that you can kind of follow up with it, right? But you got to let me know what the situation is. That's what tonight is about. I'm happily giving away great information for you to, kind of solve the problem. So, yeah. A.A. So you asked how to get rid of psychic attack anxiety and panic attacks. There's several versions of that in terms of layers. A.A. I would suggest the most immediate thing right now is to get you. Well, I actually recommended that for someone else here on the live. There's 2 bracelets you want to get specifically just to help in the interim while you're kind of revisiting how to build here. And for you, because of what you mentioned, which is like the psychic attack, anxiety, and panic attacks, those 3, the first would be an obsidian bracelet. The second would be a lava bead bracelet. And then the third would be a hematite bracelet. Those 3, when working together, they really help to kind of shut down and absorb any kind of a negative attack that's coming to you. If you don't have the training, like let's say I have, right? These are the 3 types of materials that really work in conjunction to help to slow all of that down so that you can mentally be able to handle things that, have some clarity with that. Kayla asks, what crystals do you use the most? The most crystal I have in my house is quartz crystal, Kayla. It is my number 1 go-to crystal, always. Thank you, A.A. Much appreciated. Okay. Good afternoon from Australia, Natty. Yay. Beach is asking, you're not invisible, Beach, but I'm only answering the life coaching version questions. All right. I'm not trying to be rude, I promise. I'm trying to stay on topic. Deborah, good morning. Greetings from Holland. Yes, Holland. You guys rock. Will my 3 peckered billy goats? Oh, Kit Kat, come on now. If you want to know if you and Andy are really done beach life, let's talk about the situation. That's what I'm saying. Let's unpack it. All right. Even if it's personal, just find a way to articulate it so we could unpack it, and I'll be able to help you understand if he's in that mindset where he's done, if you need to move on, or if there's something that you could do to kind of salvage it. One Melody Maker, How do I release fears of old and be open to this new relationship without projecting my fears? That is such a powerful question, One Melody Maker. Thank you for asking that. Here's the thing, you are always going to feel an extreme amount of fear when a new relationship comes on, right? In our society today, we really haven't been taught to release old things and old feelings. So it becomes really hard because we kind of like put things on layers, and then we put things on back burners, and then we table things, and then next thing you know, we look behind us and there's a big pile of boxes. I get it. Trust me, been there, done that, succeeded at it greatly. And then I had to unpack those boxes. There's literally no way around it. So, yes, how do you be open? At the risk of sounding extremely cliche, the only way to be open is to be open. So you have to let your, and see, again, what I'm going to say right now is like one of the biggest taboos for social relationship thing. You got to let that person know, right? Say, listen, I like you. I really like you. But here's the thing, I got some pain points and I'm still working through that. But I really like you. And the fact that I'm telling you this tells me that all the work that I've been doing to kind of get through my pain points, it's working, obviously, because I'm open to being with you. So tell you what, I want to take this slow. If you're cool with us taking this slow, I'm so in. You understand the articulation that I did there, One Melody Maker, right? It's self-deprecating, but at the same time, you are showing that you are a person of growth, period. And if that person that you're with is on board with that kind of lifestyle, where they know that you're growing, now you're vetting them at the same time. Those are the three big things you could do by saying it, by articulating and presenting it that way. Again, like I said, socially, most dating sites are really, oh my God, you could never say that. Rawr. And then what? So if you don't be honest about it, then what? What happens, 2, 3, 6 months down the road when that person figures it out? Then they're gone. I see this all the time. You might as well just say it up front in a really amazing and creative way so that it tells you where you are, but it gives them the choice and vets them at the same time. Is this a person that I can go through shit with and they stay? You understand what I'm saying, One Melody Maker? All of these things are really important. You got to know if the relationship you in has staying power. So you might as well find out early. That's the way I look at it. Hello, Princess Lilibet. How are you doing? Great to have you back on my live. Hang on. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Oh, Kit Kat is asking what is 369. I don't have all the time to explain it, Kit Kat, but I'll tell you this. Here's where you would begin that research. Google 369 and then put the words Nikola Tesla after it. That will start you on the path to begin to understand the kind of vocabulary where that's concerned. I talk about the use of the 369 in terms of manifestation. It's been something that I've been observing over the years of helping people to manifest their goals. From the point that you release the request into the universe, it follows the pattern of 3, 6, and 9. It's either within 3 seconds, 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. And then the same for 6 and 9. It all depends on how close you are in proximity to the request you made. So it's a little bit, just a little bit of complication, but that will be a great place to start your research, KitKat. All right. I'm loving these questions, you guys. Honestly, these are pretty amazing questions. You know, sadly, I can't do the tarot ones tonight because I'm trying to I'm trying to stay on topic. Okay. No worries, Jordan. No worries, my friend. Actress Smith, my husband broke my heart. I am so sorry to hear that, Actress Smith. Why don't we unpack this? Tell me about the situation. Let's see if we can come to some sort of tooling that you can use to help you walk through this process. Okay? This is the place. This is the time, my friends. Let's talk it out. You know, there's no point in holding it within yourself. Let's talk it out so we could actually get somewhere with it. You know, we have to have a starting point, and that's what's super important. Megan 3366, what is the best way to receive guidance, connect to my ancestors? Ooh, oh, I love this one. Yes. Okay, Megan, you just excited me so much. That was just as much excitement as having ice cream with chocolate on top. Okay, Megan. I'll tell you how. In fact, you know what, Megan? Get pen and paper to write this down. Okay? I hope you're listening to me, Megan. I'm only gonna say this once. So, Megan 3366. Here's the best way to connect with your ancestors. Get super calm and comfortable. Make sure that your environment is going to be uninterrupted for at least half an hour. And there's a very specific statement you're going to say. That statement is this: bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, ancestors come. That's the statement you're going to use, Megan 3366. Now, after you say that statement, you want to light a white candle and wait. This is the most important part. I hate to put it raw, Megan, but let me put it raw. Sit your butt down, say nothing else, and wait. The experience you have while you're waiting, take in everything that you feel, everything you hear, everything you might even possibly see. Write it all down in that moment. Don't wait till after. Write it all down in that moment. You may even hear words. Write everything. Record the whole thing. After the half an hour has expired, out the candle and take a minute to calm down. Drink some water. That would ground you. And then you can go back over what you wrote. Okay, Megan 3366, I hope you heard it because I can only say it once. You let me know what happens, okay? Rebecca. Oh, thanks for the wishing bottle, Rebecca. Curtis feeling the positive effects of the candle and spiritual work being done. We might have to talk about that, Rebecca. Give me a little bit more details, though. I'm sensing something there, but I don't want to say it yet. I need you to tell me some more. In fact, I'll tell you what. Tell me the date that you did that spiritual work, and let me just. That's all I need. Just the date. Blue Gold George asks, "Hi, do you love the Merkaba?" Um, I wouldn't say that I love the Merkaba. I would say that I understand the Merkaba, and I understand its use. I understand its effects. Yeah, it's more of a very very secure understanding that I have for the Merkaba. Blue Gold George. Spinass daughter, hello. How are you? Uh, Rial de Bloom. His family made me leave him. Ooh. Okay. So Rial de Bloom, you gonna need some magic on that, girl. Straight up, you are going to need some magic on that. If you know for a fact that he actually wants to be with you, this is where magic applies. The families do weird stuff, right? If they feel like you're like underclass and like that, you know what I mean? If they don't really want to get to know you and they think he could do better and all that, right? I don't agree with all of that family stuff. I mean, that's just me personally. I think that people should make intelligent decisions. So they may have their own reasons for not liking you, obviously, but if you know you have a deeper connection with him that he has definitively expressed with you to you, then you just need to drop some magic on that. Respectfully. Right. So the other thing is you could, you're just saying here, family made him leave me, so should I give up on him? Um, the other thing is you can move on. I mean, you do have the choice, right? If you think it's going to be too much hassle and way too much drama in your life to take on fighting for him, then you just have to petition the universe to bring someone else to you that is not going to have all of that drama, right? I know it may sound it make it sound simplistic, but those are just very two very clear choices. Vanessa, this is my life, and that's all I'm going to say. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, eh, you know, I speak from the perspective of spiritual life coaching. Period. Okay. Kaden asking any tips on meeting a girl's parents. Uh, be straight with them. Kaden, be straight with them. Do not bullshit, my friend. Like in no way whatsoever. Right? Just that's the only rule you need to know. Just be straight with them. It doesn't mean being rude. It just means be straight with them. uh, let's see. Oop, I think I might miss. I just want to say thank you guys for all the questions. Really, really appreciate that. A.A, can I win back my charisma after I showed love and neediness and my anxiety to my avoidant ex? Yeah, that could be a really intense situation, A.A. I totally understand what you're saying. Here's what I would recommend. You really do have to take time to assess what are these triggers. Like you gotta like kind of batten down the hatch and figure out what are these things that really trigger you to respond to love. If somebody shows you love or shows you kindness, what are the things about that make you respond with neediness and anxiety? So one of the tools that I usually tell my clients, go back to the very first situation in your life. And it might actually surprise you how easy it is to simply run a memory train where you can go back because it's specific, right? When you recognize the pattern of, when someone loves me, I respond with neediness. I wonder that it must come from somewhere, right? If you can go backwards in your mind through your life, all the way to childhood if you have to, you will find the same feeling nestled inside of a life event. And that's if you can find that, that's where your journey of healing begins. Okay? Rose is Rose 2772 is asking, how do you know if a person is true? That's a great question, Rose. For me personally, I recommend that it starts with you. What do you want in a person that you consider to be true? Because if you started from that perspective, Rose, what happens is that you begin to create a healthy set of filters that's going to identify to you that this is the perspective of truth you're holding, right? Now, be prepared that over time, as you get older, the nuances that you develop in those statements and filters is going to change. You don't always get it right the first time, but that's a really good place to start. Okay. Mark Sydney. This is so weird. My phone was sitting on the counter, screen locked, and I heard talking, and you were playing. Right on. The universe is kind of funny like that. That's pretty intense. That is awesome. Right, so talked about that with Rose. Megan took detailed notes. Yes! Righteous. Let me know as you progress with that, Megan. I really do want to know, all right? Even if you got to DM me. In fact, you know what? Here's what. I'll make it super easy. Well, you're following me. I'm following you. We're friends on here. Let me know. DM me and let me know, okay? Kofi, hello. How's it going? Carmen is here. Fertility problems with user 5225. Come back on Saturday when we're doing magic. Okay? If you're there still, user 5225, come back on Saturday. We're gonna sort some magic out. Okay? A.A, how do I know if I have brain psychological issues or a curse put on me? From my experience with curses and hexes, A.A, sometimes it ends up, it presents itself as psychological issues. And sometimes the pre-existing psychological issues give way or allow hexes to work a bit faster. That's what I'm seeing. So there's two things there. From all of the situations that I've personally dealt with, psychological issues tend to be an indicator that there's imbalance. Either it's chemical imbalance or a dietary instigated kind of imbalance. And curses, the way that curses actually work are to infiltrate the energy patterns that are running through your body. And by weakening these energy patterns over time, the result is usually either physical deficiency, energetic deficiency, like all of these things happen as well as a result of the way that curses work. So what I'm saying is this. The two things you identified there, whether it's, well, three, whether it's brain or psychological issues or curses, can only truly be determined through a series of sort of energetic tests, right? So basically, you kind of have to figure out, and for me, what I do, I use tones to do that. Tones and certain visual reference cues that I've used over the years for that, right? So that's something that you could kind of work with me on if you would like to do that. Okay, we're going through. We're actually zipping through this pretty fast. So thank you guys for being so patient and waiting for your question to be answered. So Rose 2772 is asking, "Am I worthy as me, just being me?" My answer to that, Rose, is absolutely yes. 1 bazillion% yes. Now here's the caveat. The caveat, Rose, is you have to expect yourself to change. Why? Because life is happening, right? I know it may seem logical, but sometimes we do forget life is still happening. Whether we stop or not, life is still happening. Now, if you choose to interact with life, it means that life is going to happen around you all the time. Your response to the things that are happening provides you with experience. So it becomes a game of how much can I learn about my interaction with life is what's going to give me the experience. Now, that has nothing to do with wisdom. Wisdom is the accumulation of a series of activities that you do with life based on your experience. I hope that makes sense to you, right? I had to slow that down a little bit, but that's the important part. Wisdom comes long after because it's based on this is how I interacted with these activities using these methods, and you can see physically, okay, this worked out, that didn't work out, not doing that again. But these things worked out. And by doing that, that's how you develop you. So that's why I say, when you ask the question, am I worthy as me, just being me? 1 bazillion% yes. Without question. Never ever doubt that just being you makes you worthy of being you. Okay, Rose? All right. Marise, how does one find what their purpose is, career path? Having a hard time figuring that out. That is a great and beautiful question, Marise. I'm gonna give you the short version, and if you want to know more, just DM me and we can actually do like a full coaching session on this, because this is one of the areas that I'm like, I love help coaching on. Everyone on this planet has more than one purpose. Fully contrary to what everyone else says, you have more than one purpose. That's the very first thing to kind of undo in your brain. You don't just have one purpose. But finding purpose allows you to truly experience life. So you may not have it right now, but that's just because you haven't been able to identify the things that inspire you to love. That's the other key. Those two work hand in hand. When you find what inspires you to love, and I'm using specific words here, I'm not saying who inspires you to love. When you find what inspires you to love, it is always followed by finding purpose. And when you find things that represent purpose, it always leads you to be inspired to love. It's a very different way of thinking. Like, for everyone in the room, it's a very different way of thinking. But I've seen this work out countless times, so I know for a fact that this actually works. Let me know what your thoughts are on that, Mary Say. So how does it really work, breaking old curses? Breaking old curses really depends on the nature of the curse. And I'm not trying to be cryptic by saying that. It really does depend on the nature of the curse. Curses take different forms, and the results are usually different. It's either acting on your environment, acting on your connections, meaning people around you, or acting directly on you. So the nature of the curse is important in order to understand how to combat that curse. Do I need to explain me, Rose is saying? No. Here's the thing, Rose, right? Rose 22772. You don't need to explain you. If somebody, okay, if somebody kind of approaches you, or like if it's like a, somebody that you like and you're trying to develop a relationship, and they're demanding that you explain you, that's not a person that you want to be with in the first place, right? The approach is everything. If somebody's demanding you to explain you, then their intentions are manipulative at best. That's why I said you have the right to be you. You know what I mean? Like, that's, I wouldn't, you don't need to explain who you are to anyone. It's fitting if someone is actually interested in understanding your point of view. But if somebody's trying to demand you to explain, well, who are you? Let that person go. That's not what you want in your life. That's just my perspective on it. Bali, hello. Elle and Kev, good morning. How are you? Loving the questions, you guys. Feel free to hit the like button. More likes. Bali, you asked when you think I will have my own house. Let's talk about it. What have you done? That's the first question I would sort out. And I'm not asking that in a disrespectful way. What have you been doing towards having your own house. If you tell me that start point, we'll unpack and get you some useful tools. Janelle, I used to dream of my past life, seeing myself being barred by a river. Barred by a riverside. Okay. I'm not sure if I totally understand where you're going with that one. User 0633. Maybe a little bit more would be helpful for me. Fortune. Hello. Kathy, my husband passed away almost 5 years now. For weeks now, cannot stop crying, cannot get past it. I'm really sorry that you're experiencing that, Kathy. Just me kind of intuiting right now on that sadness that you're feeling, in part, has to do with him not really moving on yet. So here's the thing that I would recommend. Do a gratitude ritual, right? If you have a moment and you're still on right now, Kathy, I'll give you like the short version of that gratitude ritual. And for anyone else in the room, if you're experiencing like, really heavy grief and sadness after you've lost someone to death, this is something that you can do to help assuage if they have not like actually moved on. Gather as many things that they liked in life. It's very, very important for you to do that as the first thing. Whether it's foods or candies or special treats, pictures of places they love to go, gather all of that stuff. You'll also need to have 6 white candles. I like to use, I don't know if you can see behind me there, that candle there. I like to use those little chime candles. 6 of the white ones. You want to put all of those things into a circle form. And there's 2 materials that you can use to make the circle out of. One would be white flour, and then the second would be yellow cornmeal. One or the other, not both. Right? So you basically make a circle with the flour or the cornmeal, and then you put all of those items into that circle. Now, the 6 candles, you're going to create 2 triangles. So you would put 1 at the head, and then 2. And then the second triangle, you're going to turn it upside down. So what you're going to create is a hexagram using the candles on the outside of the circle. So you go 1, 2, 3, and then you go 1, 2, 3, right? Light the candles, and in that moment after all the candles are lit, express yourself. Literally, do not hold back anything. Say everything that you've wanted to say for the entire 5 years of them gone. And I truly mean, don't hold back. Pour every piece of emotion out of you to the point where you feel like you're going to pass out. When you're done, stop, be super quiet, and wait. The majority of times that my clients have been able to do this, they do get a solid confirmation that all of this emotion was received. And I do feel that this is the thing that's going to work for you, Kathy. This is that thing that's going to help you to connect, to have that deep reconnection, and for your husband to actually move on and not like leave you in emotional shambles with it, right? After you've had the experience within the silence, put the candles out, gather up all of the things and all of the flour or cornmeal, whichever you choose to use. Take them out to a remote location. Usually the preferred location would be next to a river, so that you burn everything, and it has to be all burned down to ash. Nothing left. All burned down to ash. Now, if you're not close to a river or anything like, or any body of water, once you burn it all down to ash, you have to wash that ash, so to speak. If you're at a body of water, you simply put it at the edge of the body of water so that the water takes it away. If you don't have the ability to get to a body of water, a moving body of water that is, then it goes down the drain. Not the toilet, just the drain, using cold water. Very specific that it must be cold water. All right, Kathy? That's the process that I would say is going to begin the healing process for you while you are overcoming the grief. All right, Kathy? All right. Charlotte, how do I move on? So I would love to help you with that, Charlotte, but I definitely need some more details on that. Is that a Trini flag I see there? Erica from Trini. Well, go on. There we go. Right. So, Kathy, that's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm willing to promise you. If you start this process, that sudden onset of tears will begin to subside. Just intuitively from what I'm feeling from you through your words, this is the process that's really going to help you with these like sudden onset of tears. Joycelyn is saying, will Ray stop drinking if I tell him that's what I want in order to stay with him? Chances are he will, Joycelyn, depending on how he really truly feels about you. But that's not going to solve the problem of why he drinks. I think what you're going to need to do, Joycelyn, is there's two ways to go about this. Because especially just based on what you're saying, it doesn't sound as though he's going to be willing to actually go get help for it. So here's the thing. That the alcohol addiction truly does come from a place of pain that the person under addiction is trying to numb. If you can get him to trust you to the point where you can encourage him to tell you what is this pain that he is trying to numb, that could be the opening for him to be able to understand that it's not just the drinking, but that you are actually willing to support him just understanding the pain point so that he could overcome the pain point, and by extension, doesn't need to numb the pain. I hope that makes sense for you, Joycelyn. I'm so worried if I will ever have my own house soon. Well, I understand the worry, Belly, but if I am not, if I don't know what you've been doing towards that end, it's a bit hard for me to kind of give you some tools to use to keep that moving, right? Okay. Alright. Definitely getting some amazing questions. Thank you guys so much for the questions you're asking. Bali, I lost everything. No job at all. Oh, but my son, good job. Okay, son has a good job, but he lost everything. Okay. In that respect, Bali, I think what we're going to need to do is to approach this from a magical point of view, right? That I'm going to do on Saturday. And I'll actually be able to walk you through exactly how to present the request to the universe so that things can start changing. Okay? So let's approach that on Saturday. Blessings, love, and light to you. Oh, I'm a fellow light person. Oh, thank you, Z-Right. You were here the other night. Thank you so much. I remember. I remember you. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Okay. Carly, hello. Carly Carpenter. Thank you for following me. Appreciate it. User 0633. I used to see myself as a young girl. I was buried by AM. Not understanding it clearly. Okay, okay. Your phone's kind of messing it up. All right. Hey, Dad. It's going, man. How are you doing? Try that. Try that again, user 0633. I really want to get a better handle on exactly what you're saying. Carly Carpenter is saying, I had a dream when I was pregnant that my son and I were in heaven holding hands, and he was 9. Whew. It's a pretty heavy dream to have there, Carly. At first glance, Carly, it doesn't seem to be any sort of prophetic revelation, as in the two of you dying. It doesn't appear to be that. The feeling that I get from it is that there is a bonding and a transition that is supposed to happen with that pregnancy. There may be some complications with it. So if you are pregnant or trying to get pregnant, the first thing that I would do is secure a health regime that is going to keep you above par. Because if it's indicating, if the dream is indicating that there is a chance for complications to turn sour, you want to get ahead of that in order to, prevent the stress that could lead to something like that. And I think by going through that sort of better regimen, it's going to create a bond with both the child coming as well as your son. That's what I'm getting from that. Shout out from the Cayman Islands. Z, yeah. Right on. Wild boys sexually. No wonder you gotta expand that for me there, Wild boys. Tressler. Right on. Hello, Tressler. Hey, and Keynes, good to see you. Been a couple days. Nina has a disconnect with me. Oh boy. What happened? You gotta tell me what happened. My son and I were holding hands in heaven, but he was 9 and I was pregnant with him. Oh. That changes things a little bit. That is interesting. Let me think on that for a little bit more, Carly. Okay. All right, I have to scroll back up a little bit. All right, here we go. Okay. Are you mad? Hey, you know what? I love that screen name. I really love that. How you doing? Healing with Sim. How do I know healing is my purpose? One of the ways to tell if healing is your purpose, healing with Sim, is the interaction you have with healing and after you've participated in healing. If it feels comfortable and it feels like logical, like, you know what I mean? Like, if it feels like truly the most natural thing to do, then it is definitely a part of your purpose. I broke up with the love of my life because of long distance, but I miss him so much. You know, I totally understand. But here's the thing, Lee. Long distance, and I know this might sound harsh, but I just want to present a little bit of logic to you, Lee. Long distance relationships can be solved. And the easiest way to solve it is one of you has to move. And one of you has to be able to choose that it is okay to move. You know what I mean? Like I said, I know it's a harsh thing, but I see a lot of long distance relationships go through this. And it really depends on what's your framework for understanding the dynamics of a relationship, you know? And then the choice has to be made by both of you. Because it always comes down to, okay, am I moving to you? Are you moving to me? Or are we just going to say, you know what, screw it. Let's both move to somewhere new, you know? And you got to be able to take that as a consideration of something really important. If you both break up because of the distance, it's kind of like saying that, you know, you were comfortable with the distance. You know what I mean? And like I said, I know it's harsh, it's hard to hear something like that. But this is kind of how I see solving that. It does really come down to what you view as the best possible dynamic for that kind of relationship. Dad says, I'm okay, I suppose, day by day. Absolutely. Absolutely, Dad. That's how it goes. Um, my shoe, Charlotte, dreamt of my ex being very sick to a point that he even wet himself and he was crying like a baby. I'm getting the sense that that's a bit prophetic. You might want to check on him or her. Okay, Charlotte? I check on him. Okay. Woohoo! I'm on for 90 minutes. Kishwana, hello. How are you? Okay, going through that. Almost at the end of this list here. This is amazing. You guys are like asking some amazing questions for real. Loving them. Barbara, you're here. Yay! Thank you for joining, Barbara. I love my mod team. You guys totally rock. Oh, that's okay, Jeannie. That's all right. Are you mad? I know, we we are young, and I left my home country to come to Canada. We don't have money, both of us. Right. So, and I totally understand that. So here's the thing that I would say. Are you mad? As a screen name, of course. Here's the thing that I would say. I wouldn't fully discount not getting back together, right? It may take some time. In fact, you know what? I'll tell you what. Tomorrow is Relationship Wednesday for tarot. So we could actually look into that as a question for you tomorrow. All right? That's what I would say with that. Now, it's just going to be a one card read, but if you really want to delve into this to understand a bit deeper, just book a session, right? And get some like full on clarity on this. Okay? Yeah, thank you for taking over, Barbara. Really appreciate it. Are still in school and we are studying competitive courses. I just can't forget about him. Hey, that's normal. That is totally normal. Uh, Clara Nunez, prayers for my son, Angel, please. Clara, if it's okay with you, just tell me what's going on. Let's unpack it. Tell me what's going on. I'm not, and no disrespect, Clara, but I'm not the praying type. I'm the magic type. If there's something that can be done from an energetic perspective to resolve the thing, I'm all about it, right? So I don't really do the whole prayers thing. You tell me what's up, and I'll let you know what you can do to facilitate, or if I need to facilitate for you. Mo, how do I focus? Like, I get distracted when I'm trying to learn new things. Example like Forex. Mo, what I find really helps are core tones. So, what I would do is actually, let me see if I can find that here. Hang on. Like my UK friends say, hang on a minute. Um, oh, that's odd. All right, I don't seem to find it right now. So here's what I would recommend, Mo. Go up on YouTube and look for the frequency tone 432 hertz and play that while you're studying. It really helps it helps to improve it. When you start listening to that first, have earbuds or headphones on, right? And eventually you'll be able to like listen to it without the headphones. But for the first few times while you're studying, just keep it like super low, but keep it playing. It really definitely helps with focus. Kina, what exactly is a shaman? Great question. I'll answer that in a second. Hey, babe. Sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. Can you put that in for a minute for me? Please. Thanks. Microwave. It's okay. I'm just getting my coffee heated up. So Kina asked, what exactly is a shaman? I love that question. So the simplest answer is this. A shaman is a person who is trained to understand the energy that is around us and how to make use of it, how to collaborate with it, and how to work with other beings who also are aware of this energy and use this energy. Right? That's exactly what I do. Anna, hello. Hope you have a nice day. I hope you have a nice day too, Anna. Genève, what's going on? Am I George Floyd? Okay, that's an odd question. uh, was the question off base? No, no, God no, God no, Dad. If Dad, in fact, you know what? I think I might have missed your question. Ask it again, please. If I missed your question because you said it was the question off base, I think I might have missed your question. Thank you. Nikki is asking, "Am I in good health?" Well, tonight is more of the coaching style, Nikki. So all you got to do is tell me more about what you're feeling, and then we could unpack whether or not you are correct in assuming that it's important to ask the question. Mm-hmm. Okay. Halima says, "Can you give me advice? I'm really not happy. I have many problems. I'm a single mom." Halima, you know what? I would love to give you some advice. but we need to have a starting point. Okay? Now, just based on your statement, I would obviously recommend do a much deeper dive by just having a booking with me to go through some things. But in the interim, while you're here, maybe we could talk about one of these things, one of these many problems, because I'll be able to give you some tooling to understand how to unpack it, recognize the thing within yourself so that you can kind of at least start moving forward. All right? So if you can go ahead and do that for me, just at least talk about one of the problems. All right, outside of, being a single mom, let's talk about one of those things so we could begin to unpack that. Are You Mad says, thank you. I will book a session when things ended up badly. After I left, he really got depressed. Oh, man. That's pretty harsh. Yeah, I mean, let's really talk about that for sure, Are You Mad? Like, for real. I think the benefit in really like just exposing the whole situation is going to be a lot more beneficial for you. Like I can only do like the one-offs here, but like when you're in a session with me, like we deep a submarine could not dive deeper than we would. Let me just put it that way. Really important. Well, I get a visa decision. Yeah, we're not doing that style of answers, Rahav. Those general questions were Sunday and Monday. But you can come back on Saturday and participate in the magic to push this decision forward. And had a mental breakdown. We are continents apart. We just had to break it off. Yeah, no, like I totally understand that. Are You Mad? Like I totally understand that. The situation would have obviously gotten to that point where communication was not strong enough to hold it together. So I completely get that. Right. Taxi? I have no idea what you mean. Tristler, can you give me advice or insight going into this new job? I'm feeling a bit anxious. Okay, so Tristler, here's the first things with that. First thing you have to ask yourself, have I done this job before? That's a yes or no, right? If you've done the type of job before, it means you already have preset skills to be able to get you through the job, right? So then the next thing that you would be feeling anxious about is the usual stuff. Yeah, it's a new environment, new people, are they gonna like you, things like that. Never mind all of that. Now, here's why I say that. Yes, it's good to get along with coworkers, and they've been there before you, so they're obviously going to have a attitude about them. You're you, Tressler. You are you, period. So the only thing that you can do and be in control of is making sure that you present yourself as exactly who you are. Now, some people may not like that. That's okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everybody wants to make sure that, they present themselves in a way that is, good and, kind and amicable and whatnot. If somebody is out to not be amicable with you, then I'm sure that the job has steps to take to deal with that. So the first thing you want to find out is what are those company policy environmental things, because the more that you learn that is the better it's going to be in case you need to mitigate something like that. So that would be my advice for you on that. can I prove what? Yep, okay. We're just not gonna deal with that here tonight. Just no. Yeah, Jeannie, I just kicked him. I don't. Just, taking up other people's precious time. Hey, Siobhan. Hello. Psychic Tarot. I'm struggling here in Nepal. I'm in a loan a lot and can't earn to pay, so feeling bad. How can I? Okay, gotcha. Hey, Psychic Tarot. Okay. God, this might sound really harsh, Psychic Tarot. It's not meaning to be. I am in no way trying to be mean to you. Let me preamble by saying that, Psychic Tarot. You need to trust your ability, and you need to trust your tools. What started going off as I was reading your message there, your post? You're not paying attention to the messages that your people have been trying to tell you. You've been literally resisting doing what they told you to do. You have to trust your tools that come with the psychic ability and with the ability of reading tarot. That's all I gotta say. Halima, I just want a happy life with my son, but my ex-husband, every time he want to take my son. I understand that situation, Halima. I think there may be some convoluted lack of communication involved with that. And I also think, just from what I'm kind of feeling from that statement, there's some things that you're doing that you know that you're doing, but you're not saying it, and I get it. But you have to change that part of yourself. That's Halima, you know that you have to change that part of yourself. I know you know what I'm talking about. By changing that part of yourself, and you're being super stubborn about it, and I mean that from the heart. You're being absolutely super stubborn about that part of yourself. You need to change that part, because that part has actually never benefited you properly in life. Okay? I know you know what I'm talking about. This situation, that part of yourself contributed to it. It's not the whole thing, but it definitely contributed to it, right? You take it this way. If you can truly override this part of yourself that has been kind of just, a lot in life will just completely turn around for you. I tell you that right now. Are you mad? How do I book a session? Yes, so if you go to my profile, there's a Linktree link there. And there's two ways that I do sessions. One is indirect, and that's through the Wizio link, right? And then the second is through like a live, just like how I'm live here. It'd be a one-on-one session, but you do that through the Calendarly link, right? So if you follow the instructions for both, you'll be able to book a session. Halima, he don't want me happy my life with my son. I do everything to make me sad. Trust me when I tell you, Halima, I'm feeling it. I understand what you're saying, and I get what you're saying, but this is something that you know that you do that really, really does not contribute to making a peaceful situation be peaceful. Gotta work on that. I'm not saying that your husband is a saint. Don't get me wrong. He's being a bit of a dick. Let's be straight about that. But that thing that you do really doesn't help. But it won't let me send a message, Bree. Tell you what, Bree. Oh, Bren, sorry. I sent you a request to follow. Usually, if you have your privacy settings pretty high, then you won't be able to message me. So I sent a request to follow you, Bren. So if you accept that, then you can follow and then you can DM me. Okay. Thank you. I had the question about work advice, and you answered it perfectly. Oh, right on. Good. I'm glad you got the answer. Thank you, Tressler. Mo, many thanks. We'll check it out. So, want to learn, so I can teach others. That's really cool. Psychic Tarot says thank you. You are welcome. Absolutely. Okay. Barbara, tap. Yes, please tap the screen. Hit some likes, because that whole algorithm thing. Oh yes, if it's okay with you, Barbara, I know that Ginny's got like a big day tomorrow. If you don't mind taking over, that would be sweet. Oh yes, he said yes. Okay, Ginny, go to bed. Happy trails tomorrow, Jeannie. Happy trails tomorrow. I'm excited for you. Or Thursday, one of the two. Zane, hey. Good night, Jeannie, my love. Sleep well. Bree says thank you. You are welcome. Kiba, hey, how you doing? Cassidy, hello to you. So just a quick thing for everyone just joining. Tonight is all about spiritual life coaching questions, ask a shaman, right? So if you have something that you've been kind of working on and it hasn't been working out, let's unpack it. I'm sure I'd have some tools for you. Kiba, just got my first tarot deck, the Melanated Rider-Waite deck. How should I break it in? Start using it like ASAP. Straight up, start using it ASAP. That's the only way to break them in. Kiba, just start using it and use it every day. Thanks for the follow, Kulan. Much appreciated. I want to be married. Yeah. Okay. So my first question for you, Cassidy, what have you been doing to catapult yourself to that end? Let's talk about it. Yeah, Kiba. In fact, you know what? Just follow me, because I do readings here with different categories, like all the way till I go from Sunday to Friday doing readings, like with the exception of today, Tuesday, for spiritual life coaching, and then on Saturday I do magic. So if you follow me, Kiva, you'll be able to get a good sense of like what reading is like, right? I honestly don't mind when people follow. I've seen a lot of other readers following me in the secret and in the shadows. They think I don't see them. I see them. I see them. I don't mind at all. Like I think different styles of read can inspire you to understand more about the skill of reading. So I'm totally cool with it. I know some people might say, "Oh my God, it's competition, baby." I don't really care. It just doesn't matter to me. This world has 8 billion people on it, give or take a few. So I'm pretty sure we all have some room. Yeah. And of course, if anyone's hello Silvani. Of course, if anyone is interested, I have subscriptions, right? The first I'm working on the first 10 subscriptions. And then once I get past 10 subscriptions, it's gonna get really exciting. It's gonna get so exciting. So is my husband low? So yeah, so I'm not doing the tarot reads tonight for that, but you can come back tomorrow night, Silvani, because tomorrow, Wednesday, Relationship Wednesdays, we could get into it. Akulan, that is that's arguable. Kulan, of never doing the reads when you're sick or down, because the way to understand, I'm not interested in being a reader. Yeah, no. Okay, so just to be clear about that, Kiba, it's about understanding how to read, not necessarily to read for other people, but, and I was just about to say this part. The use of the tarot cards is just like GPS. It is a navigational tool, right, to help you navigate what you can't see, especially if you're going into a direction that you don't naturally know. So the perspective that I use is, if you understand it just like a navigational tool, reading the cards becomes hella interesting. Like it really does. Good morning, Richard, to the world. We are now down to the end of the list. That is exciting. Thanks to my Rockstar mods. Man, I really wish that TikTok would put something in for like hosts to like just the way that I mean TikTok, if you're listening right now, like, where I could just tap on someone and just bring up like a badass emoji thingy where, I could kind of celebrate that person. Oh, that'd be so freaking cool. Good evening, Canadian. How you doing? I'm doing really good, Richard, to the world. Glad to have you on. Hey, is anybody interested? Like, I know we got like 39 people in the room. Anybody want to share where they're from right now? If you feel like sharing where you're from, that'd be great. I'd love to know where you are hailing from on my live. Please, you're saying I can get married? Well, Cassidy, I mean, you can get married if you want to, but what I'm asking is, what have you been doing to get you there? Louisiana, Detroit, of course, Ontario, yeah, Ghana, Sweden, wow, that's nice. England, Lagos, Nigeria. I just watched something a few months ago about Lagos. How is the situation down there in Lagos now? They're still misbehaving down there in Lagos? Adele joined. Kiba, you must attract love and marriage. You have to put a little work. Absolutely, Kiba. 100%. This is why I'm asking. Right? Love and light from Norway. Yay! Norway. Oh, man, Richard. Damn. You know, Cassidy, I get it. I felt that a few times because it feels like every time you try to put yourself forward, you meet up with these really crazy roadblocks. So that's and this is why I'm asking. So okay, Cassidy, I want to work this with you, okay? I want you to be real with me. Let's work this out. Let's unpack it. Tell me about your last date, Cassidy. I want you to go step by step. Tell me about your last date. Let's truly unpack this. All right? This is a safe room. You can talk freely. We don't badger, we don't judge up in this spot. And I got a pretty badass mod team. I'm just saying. They'll shut that down in a second. Richard, everywhere is calm for now. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, Richard. Things were getting really out of hand a few months ago when I watched that documentary. I was like, whew, it's craziness. GW, Ruby, I seen you. Thanks for coming in. Good morning from Becky. Hello, Becky. Rachel, just awaken up in the odd hours of the night. I'm starting to feel bad. Aw, talk to me, Rachel. What's going on? Let's unpack that, love. How you doing, Ruby? It's good to have you back. Remember, today is Ask a Shaman, so we could unpack some shit today. Richard, I really want to be in a serious relationship. Okay, so I'm gonna present the same question to you, Richard. What have you been doing towards that goal? All right, I'm here for you guys. I'm here to help you with giving you those starting point tools, right? Obviously, you'll get a lot more benefit if you did like a full session with me. But right now, in this moment, you're here, I'm here. Yeah. Let's unpack some stuff and get it going. It might actually be a lot simpler than you think. Saturn. We're gonna be doing the relationship stuff tomorrow, Saturn. But thank you for the question, though. Tonight is all about giving that advice stream and hustling. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. Yesterday was the worst I felt. Chest, neck pain, nausea, dizzy, shaking. Ooh. Have you checked out like a medical thing to see if there's anything to do with that, Rachel? I had some tarot cards given to me years ago. It went so badly wrong. Okay, unpack that for me. Tell me about that situation with the tarot cards. Let me see if I could help you understand what happened. Most people end up having situations that they misinterpret as a bad thing, or the situation went bad because of outside influence. So if you unpack that with me, I'll be able to kind of help you identify. Yeah, no worries, Saturn. Cool on. I can see and hear things, but I have closed myself because I don't want to see my grandma. Did you have a bad relationship with your grandma, Kulan? Is that what you're indicating? Wait a second. Holy Christ, you guys. I just looked at my daily ranking. I'm at like number 98. Kudos to you guys for making that rock out. Sweet. I honestly, thank you to all of you. Wow. I'm inside the 100. That's impressive. Right on. I'm very, very excited about that. Yeah, cool on. Let's talk about that. And CRJ, let's talk about that tarot situation that went wrong. Okay, she was your everything. Oh, you're saying that if you see her psychically, it's gonna give you like uncontrollable emotions. Is that correct, Kulan? Is that what you're saying? User 4888. I am so sorry. I can't read Hebrew. I recognize that it is Hebrew, but I'm so sorry. I don't understand it. Voices, awful nightmares, sleep paralysis started again. The dark shadow had come back. Ah. Okay. I know this is completely contrary to what you might have been told about this. Those things are not actually bad things. Usually, whenever you're experiencing that level of spiritual phenomena, the voices, the nightmares, sleep paralysis, dark shadows, and stuff like that, it's energy that you don't have vocabulary for to articulate how to describe them. And this is across the board, even in psychology. If you can't articulate the experience for your head, oh, shalom to you. If you can't articulate what you're experiencing, your physical body has to find a way to respond to the energy, right? So, from my perspective as a shaman, it's not always that there's like a whole bunch of bad stuff happening. It's stuff that you cannot describe, like articulate the experience. So that is easily solved if you understand whose voices, the meaning of the nightmares, where's the sleep paralysis coming from, what are the dark shadows. The second that you have a full awareness of these things, then your perspective about them changes, and then you're no longer afraid. That's what I do. Whenever I'm doing a mentorship, teaching, or coaching, that's exactly what I do. I help you understand the vocabulary to describe so that your context changes. Like I see this with, like Christianity and a whole bunch of other religions. Like the second you start talking about stuff like that, I'm like, oh my God, rah, and everybody freaks out. That has not been my experience. Not even close. And even for other shamans, they tend to freak out too. I still have never had that as my experience. Well, of course, the fear is if you don't understand what it is, then you can't describe it. I totally get that. I'm just saying, I know what those experiences are. So I know how to help you articulate it so that you're not afraid of it. That's what I do. Kulan. Yes, that's why. Okay, so Kulan, here's the thing. Just what I just said, that's how you solve this. If you can understand, because just so you know, Kulan, like I hear little whispers, like with what you're talking about, and Grandma would really love to just sit down and pass some stuff on to you. And she's been patient. Right? She's not mad at you, like not even close. But she does want you to be open to the readiness to actually have her come sit with you and talk to you. The difference between her like talking to you like this and the sort of automated version of messages being delivered is she's still around, right? The automated messages usually happen when someone has actually moved on, but they've left sort of the equivalent of an intelligent AI. And usually, if you watch, okay, Barbara, no worries. Like if you watch certain like psychic shows, where there's a psychic that's kind of talking and delivering messages, this is how you know when talking to a real sentient person that hasn't physically moved on. The messages are very, very deeply interactive. And if it's an automated sort of messages left behind, those messages tend to be very very automatic is the best way I could describe it. Right? So like I totally get both of your situations, right? Kulan and CRJ. I totally get it. Right? The fear is a big thing, but where the fear comes from is just a lack of knowledge. The only way to get rid of the fear is to know. That broke the sink. Once I burnt and buried the ashes of the tarot, it stopped. So that first set of tarot, was it given to you or was it a deck that you bought? Given by a neighbor. And did you know this neighbor well? Like what's the 411 on that neighbor? Oh, thanks for liking the live, Biotics. Much appreciated. Feel free to share it too. I'm totally cool with that. I did. We were friends, but she had a bad home life with her husband. Ah, I got you. Got you. Got you. So there would have been some energetic history that came with the tarot cards. So, like, I understand that you don't have it anymore, and I'm not saying that it was a bad thing to burn it. Like, not at all. You did what you had to do in the moment to assuage, to resolve the situation, and absolutely, right? But what I'm saying is, when you're moving forward with this, you definitely have to be able to understand from a deeper perspective, right? She died in cancer. My world just fell down. Oh man. That's painful. That is truly painful. So this is how you heal. Kulan, were you on earlier when I was talking to one of the other persons on here about doing a gratitude ritual? Did you hear that ritual, Kulan? Biotics, tonight is just about spiritual life coaching. So if it's based on that, it's because I'm not doing the tarot tonight, but it's based on if you want to unpack some stuff, I'm ready to let's dive in. Okay. Okay. All right. So the next part of that I would say then, Kulan, is a gratitude ritual would be extremely helpful. All right. So let me if I can get you guys to just pause your questions for a moment, because I do get questions on grief a fair bit, especially where death is concerned. So I'm just going to request that you guys hold your questions for a minute. Let me walk Kulan through this, okay? And it would be beneficial for you guys in the room as well. So the purpose of a gratitude ritual where shamanism is concerned is partly to make peace. One of the other things that it does is it helps to relieve you from the pressure of grief, but that does not mean that you don't have to go through the grieving process. I want to make that super clear. Okay? It just takes the pressure of the grief off of you. Sometimes the dead, sometimes it's really hard for them not to push that kind of pressure. And sometimes they don't even fully understand the the way that pressure affects this version of reality. Okay? So don't don't fault them for it. Okay? Now, all of that being said, let's talk about how to do this gratitude ritual. So, Kulan, I want you to grab either pen or paper or tablet or computer because I want you to write this down. Okay? Let me know when you're ready, Kulan. Thank you for all the people who are joining the live. I really appreciate you coming on. I am Kale the Shaman, and I am actually a shaman. Holy Bird. Thank you. Thank you, Holy Bird. Perfect. Perfect, Kulan. I've never had another deck of tarot, but I do still experience things I'm not afraid now. Good. That is really good that you're not afraid right now. Right? That's it's key. I mean, if you ever wanted to get another tarot deck again, not being afraid is absolutely key. Right? Okay, so we're just going to hold the questions for now. I'm not going to answer the questions for now. I'm going to walk through this with Kulan. We don't spam here, Irish, so I'm going to ask you to stop spamming immediately, please. Kulan, so here's what we do. You're going to need one of the two, either white flour or yellow cornmeal. Those are the first one of the two, never both, just one of the two, your choice. You're also going to need 6 white candles. I like to use the little chime candles, like the little ritual chime candles. They're perfect for something like this. So white candles, 6 of them. The next set of things you're going to need are gather as many things as you can of what she liked and loved. So whether it was a certain meal, certain snacks, different foods, special clothes, pictures of places that she liked to go, as many of those things as you can gather that you can afford to gather those things. Now, to start the ritual, super, super simple. Good morning, Lindsay. We're just holding questions for the moment, Lindsay, and I'll scroll back up and get to your question. I'm walking someone through a process right now. So the next part of this, Kulan, is you, oh no, it's okay. It's okay. Totally okay. I'd just like to interact and make sure that you don't feel ignored. So the next part of this, Kulan, is make sure that you find a time where it's going to be quiet and you'll be uninterrupted. You're going to form a circle with either the flour or the cornmeal, right? Once you make that circle, you're going to take all of those things that she liked, that your grandma liked, and you're going to put them in the middle of the circle. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to create two triangles using the candles on the outside of the circle. So you start at the top, you go 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to reverse that triangle with the other 3 candles. So you go 1, 2, 3. So basically what you're making is a hexagram around the outside of the circle. Light the candles, and once all the candles are lit, this is one of the super important parts. Express everything that you have wanted to say to your grandmother in that moment directly into the circle. Don't hold back. Let it all out to the point where you feel like you're going to pass out. It is crucial that you do this. Say everything. Now, once you do that and you've completed that part, no matter how long it takes, when you feel like you have emptied your soul, stop and wait. Be super quiet. Don't say a single word. That's the moment when your grandmother will give you confirmation that the message has been received. And if there's anything else that she wants to communicate to you, you will feel or hear that expression then. Yes, but I'm giving you the solution for this, though, Kulan. Right? This is the way that you'll get through this, the most direct way for you to get through this. Okay? Now, once you receive that information from your grandmother, make sure you write it down. Write down everything. And then you put the candles out. And then you clean up everything. Okay? Good morning, Tina. We'll chat in a bit, in a minute, Vicious. Right? You clean everything up, Kulan, including the flour or the cornmeal, whichever you use. Now, if you're not close to a body of water, moving body of water, that's okay, but that's preferred. Because what you need to do is to take all of that stuff and you burn it all to ash. Everything must be burned to complete ash. So if you're too far inland to get to a body of water, once you're done with the ash, you have to wash it down with cold water. Hence the reason having to be at a body of water. So if you are able to go to a river or stream or the beach, you don't throw it deep into the water. All you have to do is put it at the edge of the water. Let the water wash it away. If you have to do this at home, run cold water in the sink and then slowly put the ashes down and let it flow down the sink. Within 24 hours, all of this pressure that you're feeling will start to dissipate. Because what you're feeling right now is that immense grief pressure. This ritual of gratitude is going to slow that down. And it's going to bring the intensity of that energy down so that you can feel a lot more comfortable to be able to move forward energetically. Okay? That's how this process works. Right? I hope you wrote this down, hope you took it down or recorded it either way, but this is the process that you want to use to help you get through this situation. Okay, Kulan? Okay. Right, Lindsay, you had asked, how do I remove a block from my third eye? So I guess my first question to you, Lindsay, with that would be, how do you know your third eye is blocked right now? What have you been experiencing that leads you to feel that this is a situation? Let's unpack that. And beautiful good morning to you too, Tina. Vicious asked, I had a dream last night where someone shouted, "Wake up." What was that? Okay, at the risk of, I don't mean to be rude in any way, shape, or form, Vicious, but if you have a dream that tells you wake up, it truly does mean wake up. It means awaken your senses, awaken your awareness. There's a part of your life that's coming right now that is going to require you to truly pay attention. Because if you're not paying attention, all of the events that ensue are going to sideswipe you. Begin paying attention. In other words, it's kind of like if you were in the wild and you didn't know where you were going, obviously your sense of flight fright would be peaked, right? This wake up is truly wake up. Begin to be more aware. Start paying attention to things that are happening around your life so that you can respond instead of react. Okay, Vicious? Dad, you're back. Sweet. Odile. What will be a good cleansing bath? Oh, that is a great question. In order to know that, Odile, you'd have to kind of tell me what location you're in, because not everybody has access to the same thing. So, what location in the world are you? Lindsay, I've got a feeling that I don't get that much intuitive downloads anymore, as well as my dreams. I used to have a lot of dreams where I got important messages for myself and others. Okay. Yep, that would do it. So, hey Lindsay, would you mind if I kind of run a little bit of experiment with you right now? Is that okay? Just let me know. You're giving such healing energy. You're healing me as we speak. Oh, my pleasure, Padsta. I'm so glad that you're feeling that. It's my pleasure. Jacqueline, I heard Claire's Day. Jackie, I'm cold around 3 a.m. Going to my car at a friend's house. No one inside. That's quite the experience, Jacqueline. It means that your senses are definitely on par, right? I think that's a really good, clear indication that your sensory abilities from a psychic perspective are waking up. So thank you for speaking with me. I'll join again. All right, you have a good night, CRJ. Thank you so much for joining in Canada. Okay, good. Odao in Canada. So the first thing that I would do is try to find some sweetgrass. Better if it's braided. And the reason why I'm saying particularly sweetgrass is because of the kind of vibe that I'm getting from your situation. I think that sweetgrass would actually do it for you. A lot of people try to use sage to cleanse, but that, I'll say it and say it again, that's not what sage is for. You know, sage changes the energetic environment, but that's not. And I know there are like hundreds of thousands of people that will try to call it wrong, but I'm telling you, that's not what sage is for. Sweetgrass, on the other hand, is going to help to change that environment that you have going on a lot better. Rachel, why do I feel like spirits are causing this sickness and pain? Chances are they may have been trying to make contact, and they might not have been getting through. And one of the way that spirits operate is if they can't get you to slow down just by trying to communicate with you, they'll allow you to just stop. And one of the ways that we stop as humans is if we're sick and in pain. It sucks. But if they need to get their message across, they will. Like, they have a mandate and they have to get their message across. Absolutely. Absolutely, Lindsay. Hi from St. Lucia. Erica, hello to you too. Odal says thank you. You're welcome. Erica, cool. Yeah, big time. Big time, Erica. Bigger cleansing bath. I'm in Woodbridge. Where is Woodbridge? User 9020. Talk to me. The great cleansing bath. 3 chakras are blocked. User 9020. What chakras are being blocked? That would determine the kind of bath. I agree with spirit finding a way to slow us down. Yes, this is quite true. Erica. So I'm not doing the tarot read stuff tonight, Erica. We're just doing like the spiritual life coaching, which means that if you have a situation that you're kind of working through and it's, you really can't figure it out, we'll unpack it together and then I'll be able to give you some tools to kind of push forward. Oh, I bet, Rachel. I totally bet. Trinidad, hometown. Money don't stay with me. Ooh. The first thing that I got with that, Trinidad, is somebody put a juju. Trinidad, I'm gonna ask you this right now. Who do you know is a Shango Baptist? Either friend or family? The root above the root. Okay, so the root above the root and the heart. Tanya from Jamaica. A wagwan girl. All right, so let me pause for a second. I'm gonna stay from where Tanya's at. Okay, so somebody had, let me just go back here. I'll make sure I'm not going too fast. All right, the great cleansing bath. Okay, so the kind of bath you're gonna need to unblock those. Okay. I gotta say something here, user 9020, and I apologize, but I can't not say it because I'm getting like everybody like saying yeah, right? So I'm gonna tell you this. those chakras are being blocked based on the fact that you haven't unpacked some very serious issues that happened in your past. You've gone through a little bit of what I see as therapy for these things, but they have not actually been, like, you haven't actually said, okay, self, we are done with these issues. So leaving them in the background has allowed them to fester, which brings us to the state of this blockage. The most powerful thing for you to do with this cleansing bath is that you are going to have to, I want to put this gently, you are going to have to bring yourself to the highest state of arousal to release the energy in the bath. Now, here's what you're going to put in the bath. Go look for kaffir lime leaves. They must be kaffir lime leaves. And then you're going to look for St. John's wort. And the last thing you're going to look for is a low-grade, unpolished ruby stone. Right? Those actually do exist. Not the high-grade polished ones, because those are just exorbitant. And you don't want those because the reason for the ruby is that you're going to have to crush it into a powder. So crush the ruby, that when you get that ruby, it doesn't have to be a big ruby stone. It just has to be like a little one like that. You're going to crush the ruby into an absolute powder, as powdery as you can get it. The kaffir lime leaves, you're going to make the strongest possible tea with those, right? And then the St. John's wort, you're going to crush that into a paste. All three of these items will go into the bath. And the bath has to be as hot as you can stand it. In the bath, focus on those three chakras. And as you're focusing on those three chakras, mentally, you have to give yourself permission to let go. As you're giving yourself permission to let go, you begin the process to adult yourself until you release yourself. I hope I'm making this as clear as I can. We're on live. Once that process is done, get up, immediately shower with as cold water as you can stand, get out of the tub and let it drain, and immediately clean that tub. Don't leave it for a second. The second every last piece of water is drained out, you have to clean it. But the only thing you're going to clean it with is vinegar, and it must be white vinegar. All right? I hope you got all of this. Okay? All right, Trinidad. I'll have to go down the list here and see if you responded. Just bear with me a second. Tanya from Jamaica. Mons, good morning. Each time I astral travel, I'm unable to leave my home. Something is tying you down to your house, and which means that if you're being tied down to your home when you try to astral travel, it means that if you do try to go past your home, you're not going to survive the trip. That's what I'm seeing right now with that. Holy Bird. I feel like God talks to me through my thought process and things outside myself. That's actually pretty normal, Holy Bird. That's a definitive normalcy. Okay. Quayo, am I on the right path? Well, I'd ask you the reverse question, Quayo. What makes you think you're on the wrong path right now? Yeah. that is awesome. That is awesome, Ella. I love it. The shaka, okay. Okay, got that. What can I do about this money problem? Trinidad, that's why I asked you. Who do you know is a Shango Baptist? Because I feel a very strong pull that's the connection that's blocking you. So you gotta tell me, like, who do you know, either friend or family, who's a Shango Baptist? This is very specific. Do something, uncle. XOXO, I'm not sure. Maybe expand a little bit more. You'd have to expand that a little bit more, Carla, just because tonight is like a coaching night. I can help you understand it, but we got to expand a little bit more. When you say that your ex is so obsessed with you, tell me more about that. No worries, user 9020. Co-workers trying to sabotage me. Erica. So, Saturday is when I do magic. We can sort that out. All right? We can definitely sort that out. So it's a protection. It is most likely a protection, and it just means that where you are in your practice of astral traveling might not be ready for you to go outside of that. So I would stay in that and practice some more. Yes, Trinidad. In fact, you know what? I'll do it here. Let me follow you there, Trinidad, and DM me, and we can talk about it. Because I do actual bookings, right? So yeah, just DM me, and let's talk about it, so I'll know if we need to actually book a session to deal with it. Okay. Mr. Lee, tell you what, I will tell you a word. If you can ascertain how it applies to me, I will trust. All right, so let me tell you about this, Mr. Lee. All right. I don't do tests. To me, tests are a waste of time. Why? Because for me, I've been doing this for over 30 years. So I don't have the time to waste for tests. And I don't mean to be rude by saying that. If you've got an issue, let's talk about it. Let's get it done. If you have trust issues, we can also talk about that. Right? But I definitively do not do tests. I don't have anything to prove to anyone. That's just how I look at it. You are welcome, Erica. My friend on work. Okay. All right, Trinidad. We'll talk about this. Okay, grind everything down and pour all the powders into the bath. Okay. User 9020. I want to be super clear about this. The St. John's wort has to be made into a paste. Very, very important that you follow this. The kaffir lime leaves must be made into a strong tea. And then the ruby stone is the only thing that you're grinding into a powder. I cannot stress this enough. You have to be very specific about this. Okay? Then you take those three and put them into the hot bath. Okay? I don't want you to do it the wrong way and then come back and say, it didn't work. Like, you gotta follow the instructions as I give them. Ella, just break up with him. Oh, I know that feeling, Ella. I know that feeling. What was the reason for the breakup? Talk to me. And did you break up with him or did he break up with you? Those two questions for you, Ella. Where can you find sweetgrass? Okay, so it depends on where in Canada you are. There's usually an Aboriginal community around that you'll be able to acquire the sweetgrass from. Mr. Lee, and this is the exact reason, Mr. Lee, why I do not do tests. That is excessively rude, and I'm gonna boot you out. Don't come back. Bye, Felicia. Excessively irritating when people do that. All right, perfect. This is by far the most irritating thing. TVVTC3. I'm sorry, I don't understand the language. If there's a way that you can find to translate it, then I'll be able to answer your question for you. I feel like we're gonna be back. So it's crazy. So I was talking to him about his actions. I said, it's not feeling the relationship. Okay. That's interesting, Ella, because see, do you have any kind of evidence if he is like interested in someone else or if someone else is interested in him? Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure, 99020. You are absolutely welcome. I totally get what you're saying, Ella. But that would still be my question. Do you know if there's somebody else who could be? It is a possibility. Have you? Hello, Vavalazi. Thanks for joining us. I don't have a. We're not doing the tarot read stuff tonight, but we are doing life coaching questions tonight. So yeah. Really do need help on what to do. DM me Trinidad, right? DM me and we'll let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in DM, okay? Getting a little sense about that. So let's talk about it in DM, all right? And he is always trying to turn things around. Ah, so you doing the right. Gotcha. Watching from Canada. Thank you. I'm also in Canada, so there you go. Here's what I'm thinking, Ella. Here's a good little test. See if you can find. Oh, what's going on? See if you can find sweet basil, Ella. Right? Try and find some sweet basil. And burn the sweet, well, write his name on a piece of paper. Right? You're gonna write his name on a piece of paper, burn the sweet basil, and smoke out the paper from below. And then give 24 hours and see what he does. And that will kind of help to clear what your next steps are gonna be. Thank you, Vavalazi. Much appreciated. I'm just checking to make sure I didn't miss anything up here. Okay. watching from Zimbabwe. Hello, Zimbabwe and Botswana. Good evening or good morning to you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Namibia too? Yeah, right on. Glad to see you guys. We're coming down to the last few minutes. Yeah, and okay, let me just do this here. Oh, Ella. Okay, I followed you now, Ella, so you'll be able to DM me. Okay, let me know. Let me know what that is. Okay. Can I help myself? Not sure what you mean, Sadwa Etrissa. I hope I pronounced that right. Oh, the DM. So if you go to my profile, you should be able to see where it says to message me, and then you could just message me from there, Trinidad. Who's new? Kira. Kira's new here. Good to have you, Kira. Charlotte. Can't stop thinking of my ex. Yeah, remember we talked about that, Charlotte. We talked about that the other night. Kamono can't seem to find a job and marriage is falling apart. Oof. So here's my question for you, Kamomo. Is the marriage falling apart because you can't find a job? Or is the marriage falling apart a separate issue? I'm eager to win lottery, so to help people in need. Here's the kicker with that, Vavalazi. You don't actually need the lottery to help people in need. You just have to do what you can. If the lottery happens to come along, then it'll just be a help. But you have to actually practice helping people in need in order to get the feel for it. I know the universe is a little bit of a weird place with that. But if you're waiting for the lottery to help people in need, it's not going to come. You have to actually practice helping people in need in order to understand what's involved with how you feel about it. Okay, all right. So stick with doing that because the lottery would be a different way. Yeah, look, you know what? I totally get it. It will never feel like enough. You got to get used to that right now. It will never ever feel like enough. But the universe does have a way of kind of guiding you in a path to be able to do what you're doing. And when the timing is right, there will be assistance. You got to trust the universe to do that for you. Where your knowledge comes from? Well, as a shaman, my knowledge comes from the universe. I keep hearing I'm coming into my new spirituality, but I don't understand what it means. So that's just a part of waking up. And it's been happening a lot more now, where people are receiving these very intense messages that, and it's definitely happening a lot. So don't be afraid of what it means. What it means is that your state of awareness is now waking up. Following the path of spirituality is extremely practical. It's just a different way to see the world, a more aware way of seeing the world. Komomo both is cheating and blames me for not providing. Communication has stopped between us. Okay. Chances are the dynamic of the relationship would be over, Komomo, But I think we would definitely need to kind of work through that a little bit deeper. I would recommend like having a coaching session to really dive deep on that and try to work through it. Currently, no communication with my special person. Anything that can help. Maritza, uh, when did the communication break down? Tell me about that. And I'm just going to go a few more here and then we'll kind of close out with a message for the room for the night. Since October, I have a good job, but. Right, yeah. I got you, Vavalasi. Totally understand. How will I know my spiritual assignment is completed? That's a really good question, Mons. Like, how will I know my spiritual assignment is completed? As far as I've seen, it really depends on how many assignments you have kind of going on. But as far as I've seen, usually once you've completed the missions or time for this lifetime, it ends in the transition of death. And I know that might sound a bit morbid, but basically I haven't seen it operate differently. In the 30 plus years that I've been doing this, I have not seen it operate differently. The best thing that I could say is, do as much as you can, get it done as fast as you can. How did I end up as a shaman? Well, I didn't end up as a shaman. I chose the path of becoming a shaman. It took a lot of study, a lot of years of working at it. All right, so currently no communication with my special person, anything that I can. Yeah, so I answered that part again. Jessica, I took my dad off life support 2 years ago and he still haunts my dreams. Yeah, that's. Jessica, I'm sort of coming down to the end of the time here, so tell you what. If you DM me, Jessica, I will give you some instructions to help deal with that. Okay? Giovanni, dealing with a very toxic boyfriend, trying my best to get out, but so hard. Okay, good, Trinidad, good, awesome. Giovanni, I understand. I understand the toxicity. This is one of those things that is extremely challenging. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, well, you just got to do it, because I get it. I get what that is, right? It's nothing short of the beginning stages of Stockholm syndrome. In other words, you got so used to the fear, you got so used to the abuse, and then you try to leave, but you especially if you're the kind of person that likes to see the good in people, it becomes a moral issue when it should not be a moral issue, right? I understand that. But you have to work through this. There's literally no other way around it. You definitely must work through this. If where you are, whatever country you're in, there are resources for you to take advantage of that will allow you to physically leave that toxic situation that's going to also protect you, then you need to seek that out like ASAP. That's the first, from just the vibe that I'm getting, that's the first thing you need to do. Like, don't even delay. If it's morning time where you are, go do that like right now. Start that process. Okay? Communication stopped when he moved to another state for work, but now he's pushed me away. Maritza, I would give him time. And Giovanna, yes, it will get better. This painful part, hello Jefferson. This painful part is is a part of the letting go process. And it yes, please do, okay? Please, 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 please do. I don't want to get the news of somebody else getting all messed up and stuff because it didn't, like these things are very, very important. You can't have a clarity of thinking, Giovanna, if you're in the situation, right? You have to do the absolute best for yourself to be out of the situation so that you can begin the healing process within yourself and have clarity. All right. Okay, Giovanna, you'll be the last of the person I talk to tonight with this. Definitely went over time. You guys are rock stars. You know that. I'm just gonna say this for everyone in the room. You guys are absolute rock stars, and you challenged me with amazing, amazing questions. You're welcome, Giovanna. Absolutely. And I appreciate the challenge of the questions. Okay. And I love my mod team. Barbara, you're amazing. And I appreciate you guys sending the likes, sending the gifts, and sharing the live. I know, Jefferson, but I'm on every night, Jefferson. I just approach different topics every night. Tomorrow, Wednesday night is, well, today the nighttime of Wednesday. It's gonna be Relationship Wednesday, so the room might blow up. I don't know. What country am I from? I'm in Canada, Vavalazi. I'm in Canada. Bless up to you, Ella. We'll chat. We'll chat. So yes, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I am gonna jump off now because I need to. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Right? I will definitely see you guys tomorrow night. Guessing numbers of 20 to 12 through my life. I'm just jumping off right now, Tanya. But I'll be on tomorrow night, and I'd be happy to answer questions in the context. And good night to you too, Barbara. Thank you so much. Okay, you guys, be good. Share love with someone nice. Okay, I will see you again later.